Now, there's been peace without reconciliation, according to a new report which predicts trouble ahead if politicians don't start managing the changing face of Belfast. That's one of the conclusions in the latest peace monitoring report. Martina Purdy's been examining some of its stark conclusions.
Belfast is a city in transition. It's also a divided city, divided by walls, divided even by this river. On the east bank, you have a solidly Protestant unionist population. On the west, solidly nationalist and Catholic. But it's not a simple picture, as there are significant pockets of unionists across the north, west and south of the city. But the Catholic population is young, with numbers rising to 49%. The Protestant population is older and passing away and has dropped to 42%. Belfast is at a tipping point, says this academic, who sees a connection between the changing population and the row over the Union flag in the city.
Belfast changed. It changed from having a Protestant majority, which is what it's always had, to, for the first time, the Protestant population being in a minority. Those figures were published in December 2012. They were published a week after the vote was taken in Belfast City Council. So it's not as if the people who come out to protest about the flag decision had read those figures and decided to come out and protest about them, but actually sometimes people can act like human sensors. They pick up what's happening underneath their feet. They pick up the vibration, the earthquake that was happening.
That earthquake is one of the themes of this academic's peace report. He describes young Protestant men, a quarter of whom are jobless, as a seedbed for trouble as they risk alienation and being drawn into a cultural conflict. But in North Belfast, a loyalist says he dislikes language like this, particularly words such as tipping point.
I think that's dangerous language, and again, oversimplification of a problem by an academic. The problems within working class loyalism and republicanism are probably very similar. Youth unemployment, social issues, housing, regeneration problems.
But at this protest camp in North Belfast, there's a sense of cultural warfare.
The taking out of our flag of our city hall, the demonisation of our culture and parading is all things that's very true to our hearts. It's basically similar to someone coming into your house, rearranging the furniture. It just makes you feel very uncomfortable.
While Catholics still suffer deprivation, Catholic schools are excelling, providing a route out of poverty.
This problem was still going to bubble up because what we've got is inequality. We've got a section of our population, young Protestant males, who have no roots out of their poverty, and they experience it as inequality, they experience an alienation, and that will erupt.
Both the academic and the loyalist agree there is a lack of vision and a lack of leadership coming from politicians at Stormont. Unionist politicians, says this nationalist commentator, are fighting a losing battle against change.
It's been like King Canute. They're trying to force back the nationalist tide, and it has completely failed. All unionist politicians know these statistics quite well. They know exactly where it's heading, and they know that the only outcome can be accommodation and reconciliation. And as it points out in the report, there's peace, but there's no attempt at reconciliation whatsoever.
Belfast is a colourful canvas for the artists. Cultural tensions between the Protestant loyal orders and Catholics are captured in the work of North Belfast artist Joe McWilliams. But there is another picture from South Belfast artist Susan Hughes. Her exhibition has just opened at Stormont, called The Quiet Peacemakers. One of them says politicians alone can't bring peace, so what is missing?
One of the things that's lacking is the acknowledgement of the number of quiet peacemakers that exist, and perhaps a connectedness because of that. So maybe we need to all get ourselves together and make sure that we know what each other is doing. But that support and vision that comes from each other, I think, would make a big difference, and that then makes a stronger voice to those in leadership.
There are young people like these who are working to build bridges. They feel weighed down by their parents' generation, a lack of support from politicians, and negative language.
Our young people are feeling like they're holding everybody else's past on their shoulders, that they're feeling that they are trying to move forward and they're trying to be positive and they're trying to have a shared space and a shared future, but there's certain things that are holding them back.
So what's your vision for the city?
Just that a new light would shine on it.